Fellas, it took me over a decade to realize why most guys never reach their dream physique. It's not because they don't go to the gym and train hard. It's not because they have the wrong workout routine. It's because they put all that effort into the wrong places. And once you realize this, not only do you build your dream physique, but you can actually start leveraging it in the real world and other areas of your life and improve your quality of life on a daily basis. If you guys want to skip this trial and error that I've been through myself, learn from my experiences, my wins and losses, then stick around because we're going to break down everything that I've learned. Number one, if you're not progressing, you are going to be regressing. This means that if you're trying to maintain your physique, you get your dream physique and you just go, okay, I'm just going to sit here and maintain this for a little bit. You end up actually losing muscle, putting on a little bit of fat, not because you don't know what you're doing, because you end up lowering your standards. See, when we have a direction as men, we are moving towards our goal. That is when we are at our best self. That is when we're holding ourselves to a higher standard. We're trying to achieve something. You have to think about it like riding a bike. If you're riding a bike and you're pedaling, the bike stays upright. It's super easy. It's a breeze. But if you were to stay still on the bike, not pedal at all, you would probably fall over pretty quick if you didn't have training wheels. And it's the exact same with your physique. You need to make sure you're either in a phase of trying to put on muscle by getting stronger in the gym, building up some size, or you are pulling off body fat and trying to maintain that muscle. Every single time in the last 13 years I've tried to maintain my physique, I've ended up with less muscle and more fat because you end up going on vacation, you end up having family dinners, and next thing you know, you're just in a worse position. Next is about subtracting and not adding. So many guys start going to the gym, they start seeing good progress at 4 times a week. Or they're on a calorie deficit and they're losing a pound a week eating 2,000 calories. They say, okay, well, if I go to the gym 7 days a week, I'm going to see more progress and I do more sets. I stay in the gym longer because that'll equal more gains. And if I'm in a calorie deficit eating 2,000 calories, losing a pound a week, and I go to 1,000 calories, I'm going to lose 2 or 3 pounds. But that is not how it works. Your body has a natural response that balances things out. If you start going to the gym 7 days a week, but you're only putting effort at 60, 70%, you're not only going to see less progress, but you're also just going to ruin your recovery and you're not going to be able to stay consistent. And then you have to take time off the gym, which pulls back your progression even more. Same with the calorie deficit. Your body, as I said, has a natural response. Not only are you going to not lose any more fat, but you're going to start holding fat because your body wants to store fat for energy because it doesn't know when its next meal is coming. More is not always better. The best thing you can do is get better at executing. This is so important. You do not need more knowledge. You need to just get really good at the basics. There's so many things coming out with these new scientific studies that contradict one thing they said last week, and now they're telling you high volume is the way, low volume is the way. This exercise had better EMG data. The truth is, none of these things are actually going to affect your progress more than 1 or 2%. And in reality, they're going to hinder you more than they help because you're changing things so often. Building muscle takes time. Dieting still takes a few months. You need to make sure that you are consistent, doing the same things over and over and over again, and that is just the cold, hard truth. It may sound boring, but where you need to find the fun and excitement is improving, getting better connection to the muscle, making sure you're pushing harder in every single set, making sure you're able to maintain the pump better in a workout. All of these things matter so much more personally for you than whatever your favorite influencer or YouTuber Instagrammer is saying about the next best thing. The truth is, these things are released because they keep things fresh. Working out is very simple. It's very boring. It's about doing the same thing over and over again and problem solving your individual needs. But if people told you that, it wouldn't sell anything. You wouldn't buy their programs, you wouldn't watch their content, and that's why they're always telling you about the next exercise, the next best workout routine. The truth is, they all work. Every single workout routine can work. High volume works, low volume works, moderate volume works. It is all about what excites you and what gets you driven to go to the gym and push yourself. The truth is, adding more to your brain is actually holding you back from just doing what works, which is the basics and getting better at those over time. And you're actually making it more complicated than it needs to be. And this causes so many people to be overwhelmed and then not actually make a decision. This is called paralysis by analysis. You end up trying to decide so much that you end up doing nothing. The best thing you can do is focus on the basic movements, get stronger at those over time, and just keep on improving. Find the excitement in the progression. That is the most important thing. There's also no secret workout routine. There's no secret diet. There's no secret formula. What you really need is a system in place that you can follow and it fits into your individual needs and lifestyle. This is how you're going to stay consistent. And the truth is, life ebbs and flows. You're going to have times where you're a lot busier. You're going to have times where you're less busy and you have more free time. You can spend more time in the gym. But you need to figure out how to think intuitively. And that's why subtracting that information, all the things you hear online, and listening to your body is actually the best thing you can do for your progress. And I have made this mistake so many times. I have gone down the gym bro path. I had to do what's optimal, but I end up fighting with life. If I'm busy, I'm working, I'm going to school, I have all these things on my plate, and then I'm trying to work out for an hour and a half and do the most optimal exercise. I spend 5 minutes setting up a machine, all for me not to be able to put in the effort I need to be putting in. I would have been better off going to the gym only a few times a week, training as hard as I could during that time period, and realigning my goals to my current lifestyle. It's so important to understand, especially when you first start training, that your dream physique is not weeks away. You're not going to wake up next week and look in the mirror and have it. It is months or years away. That's why you need to be going with the ebbs and flows and not trying to cause friction in your life. The more friction you cause, the more likely you are to fall off or fall out of love with the process and never end up actually getting there. And that's why so many people fall off. It's not about random spurts of motivation where you get all excited, you watch your motivational videos, and then you start training really hard, going 7 days a week for 2 hours, and end up falling off. That is where 99% of people who go to the gym end up, in that average category, because the truth is it's unsustainable. This is all about integrating it into your life. If you're working 16-hour days, 4 days a week, you probably shouldn't be going to the gym 6, 7 days a week, even 5 days a week. You should maybe try align them on your days off. If you have 3 days off in a row, use those as your training days. That way, you're not spending 16 hours at work, then traveling to the gym, then trying to train as hard as you can after you're already fatigued from your job. It's all about finding what fits into your life, goes on in the background, and you still make progress. Remember, guys, going to the gym, dieting, building this physique is only a few hours a week, 4 to 6 hours a week max. This is not 24 hours of your day, so don't treat it as such. The most important lesson I've learned over the last 13 years, which we talk about all the time on this channel: magnetism and motion over muscle. Building a good physique is fantastic, but the last thing you want to do is fall into the gym bro trap. This is where all you do is consume gym content, go to the gym for hours at a time, and keep chasing an ever-eluding perfect physique. The truth is, it's not going to happen. You're never going to achieve the perfect physique, because when you get the 16-inch arms, you're going to want 17-inch arms, so on and so on. The best thing you can do is build a great physique. Stay lean, feel confident. Remember why you started going to the gym, how you felt before you started this journey. You probably felt like you lacked confidence, you didn't believe in yourself, and you felt like a bit of a loser. Now that you've got a little bit of confidence, you have that self-belief, you can talk to people confidently with conviction. You want to use this in every single area of your life: dating, relationships, business, career, whatever it may be. You want to use your physique as leverage in the real world. Again, going to the gym is only a few hours a week. We have a whole life outside of this, and we want to use the physique to amplify everything. And this is the best thing you can do. Make sure you have direction and momentum in other areas of your life. Have a mission, have something greater you're working towards, and the gym will become your little escape that you can go to, not think about anything else, and it will become a lot more of an enjoyable experience rather than just consuming yourself with just the gym, training, and your physique. It'll feel like you're making no progress.